Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is February 1st. Welcome to my channel. Big day yesterday. FOMC took the market down. And why was that? I talked about it yesterday. I said it wasn't about the statement. It was going to be about the press conference, right? And Powell basically said March rates cuts unlikely. So Fed fund futures didn't get that one right. And now it's kind of pushed out to May for the first rate cut. So then the market sold off. Also talked about a soft landing, not in the sights yet. So kind of hawkish in that way. And that's what I talked about. If he's going to walk back the rate cuts, the market's not going to like that. Okay, now, today, the market's rebounding. Here's the key. If this drop that came down to a key level in the SPY, is this enough of pricing in that March not having a rate cut now? Maybe we balance here and then work our way back up. Like, is this the price in? Is this drop just pricing that in? Are we going to fall further? We have to see, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile, volume structure in the market. Also use supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchor VWAPs, and of course, volume profile, which I already mentioned, but high volume nodes, which would be the most share price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. Okay, as well as other large volume nodes. I lost my train of thought. My daughter was talking to me. Um, so anyway, that's why I use the fine structure in this market, and it helps us try to find strength to follow. Okay, so we broke some key levels, and we'll go over it now in a little bit to see. Obviously, sellers are in control right now, but we're bouncing, so we have to see. Let's get right into the watch list. Look at the futures. Now, there's a couple big things that happened yesterday, let alone the FOMC. Specifically, this one bank that I believe bought Signature Bank when it failed. They reported like a big loss. Took the stock down like 30 something percent. It's recovering yesterday, but KRE kind of took a hit, which really hits Russell, but it's rebounding. So the Russell is up 0.86. Crude's up 0.86. Crude also went down a little bit yesterday. 30-year bonds being bought up 0.5%. Nasdaq's up 0.47. ES up 0.34. The dollar is up. So dollar up and the markets are up. Okay. Um, the Dow is up 0.09. Now, what's crazy yesterday was yields dropped. Very interesting. Yields dropped. They didn't go up. They went down. Okay. Um, Gold is down 0.3. Still above 2K. Ether's down 1.15. Bitcoin's down 1.25. Okay, so the VIX is down 1.95, and silver, the volatile metal, is down 2.22%. Okay, with the dollar being strong. Okay, not even sure if I did that. All right, so let's go over to Mag 7 plus a little extras. Now BABA is up 1.32%. Tesla is up 1.08%. I saw Tesla looking to build the move to Texas fully. I believe I saw that. Boeing got some news. Something was approved, but Boeing couldn't really break 200 after all this bad news. That's just how Boeing is. Okay. Amazon's up 0.96. They report today after the close. Nvidia's up 0.93. Even with Qualcomm reporting yesterday, and they're down almost 2%, that's not affecting the other semis, it seems. Okay. More Qualcomm's for phones. So we'll have to see. Google's up 185. I mean, this is pretty broad. Meta, AMD, they're all up. Apple, Roblox, Netflix. I mean, everybody's up in tech. I mean, that's just how it looks. Okay. There's not really a laggard. Now, move on to the top sector stocks. Walmart's going to have that 3-for-1 split. Okay. I believe that's happened in February. Let's see here. This probably has a date. Split on 2/26. Okay. Now, Chevron, Exxon is up there. They report tomorrow. All right. UPS, bad earnings again. They're getting a little love today. Chevron's up 0.41. All right. So look, everything's kind of looks like it's hunky dory today. Huh? Now Qualcomm reported, and I guess they're not liking the China forecast for future profit, I guess. All right. Now on to my swing trade stocks to really see what pockets, if any, are bullish. Right. So let's look at those. Now Canadian Goose reported they beat earnings, so they're up 8.51%. Okay. I think the market's moving down a little bit right now as we speak. Yeah, I'm hearing some large orders hitting my tape in my ear. So then we got Lucid. Now Royal Caribbean is reporting. Let me make sure here. Yeah, they reported earnings today. They were good. So Royal Caribbean is up 3.76%. Okay. That's going to have some sympathy plays with it, right? Carnival Cruise Lines, right? That's up 3.1%. Twilio, it's really on my radar. This Twilio, I'm really eyeing that up. That's up 2.83%. All right, let me make sure that when's that report? Earnings on 14th. All right. Enphase up 2.28%. You got JetBlue, Norwegian Cruise Lines also eyeing that really closely. That's up 1.91%. Okay, let's see what else here. Not too much more to report. Let's look at the laggards here in this list. All right, so Cardinal Health reported. I believe they missed earnings. Okay, looks like BDX is down. Honeywell reported they missed. Aflac Insurance, they missed. Shopify doesn't report, but they're down. MetLife also reported earnings. Let's see. That's really the laggards. There's not a lot of them today, just based on earnings, really. So let's go back. Go back to my top sectors. Let's go to the sectors. What do we have here? Discretionary leading the pack. There's your Amazon. There's your Tesla. There's your Home Depot. That's discretionary. Communications. That's your Meta. That's your Netflix. Okay. It's your Meta, your Netflix, and your Google. Okay, communications. Semis. Out of these techie stocks were the leaders yesterday. Leaders meaning they were the strongest. Okay, out of the tech. That doesn't mean it was strong. They're relatively strong. How about that? So they're up 0.7. So just a bunch of up. No laggard. No laggard here. The Russell's leading the pack this morning. Okay. So that's that. We can get over to some news, economic calendar. Let's look at that together. Now today, we have initial jobless claims at 8:30. What are we looking at? Forecast 218, previous 214. So obviously, initial jobless claims, you want these to be higher. That's going to be bullish. Okay. Today at 10 a.m. you have ISM, bunch of ISM manufacturing data coming out at 10 a.m. I would stay away from entering any trade at 10 a.m. All right, that will cause some volatility at that point. All right. If you're in a trade way before that, you probably can stay out of it. All right. Tomorrow, got the non-farm payrolls and unemployment, and then Michigan consumer sentiment. All right. So you just got a lot of crap going on. All right. Then you got earnings. Let's look at earnings. Okay. So before the open today, Altria, Royal Caribbean, Peloton, Merck, SiriusXM, Cardinal Health, Honeywell, Stanley Black& Decker all reported before the open. Today's the big ones though: Amazon, Apple, Meta. Okay, Atlassian, which is Team. I was looking really good at that. If you look at Clorox, it has a huge base, huge consolidation, and I don't play earnings, so like it's too bad if it breaks out, has good earnings. Boy, it's going to be a nice move, really nice move. Um, so that's what's going on for big earnings today. I mean, it's huge, huge earnings. What could this do to this market? Well, let's say they're all bullish. Jesus, probably go right back. And then tomorrow you got Exxon and Chevron. All right, AbbVie, Cigna, Regeneron, Charter Communications, CBOE. All right, that's earnings. Okay. Now, if we talk about, let's go back to this calendar here. If we talk about yesterday, some of the things that happened. Let's go to that. Let's go to that. Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, this New York Community Bank Corp stock rose 2.2% with the regional lender bouncing after Wednesday's 38% slide on dividend cut and surprise loss. Okay. These guys took over that Signature Bank and reported a big loss, which 38% slide yesterday. That was not good for regional banks, and that was not good for the Russell. Okay, that's why that happened yesterday. Okay, we talked about these: Royal Caribbean, Peloton. Well, Peloton didn't talk about it. Stock rose 0.5%. It still gave bad guidance, but it just said it was better. And then here's what I talked about at Tesla. Stock rose 1.3% with the electrical vehicle manufacturer set to hold a shareholder vote to transfer its state of incorporation to Texas. Okay, that's what's going on there. We talked about, I started out with what Powell said, and he just basically, Fed swaps out cut odds of March rate cut. Now the Fed rate cut now seen starting in May, not March. All right, basically what I said about in the beginning of Powell said, Fed Powell, based on the meeting today, I don't think likely we have a rate cut in March. So that happened. So let's look at the Fed Watch tool. This is for the next meeting. Now, there's a 64.5% chance of a pause. All right? The cut has only got a 35% chance. Okay? So we're taking these off the table a little bit. And the market's going to try to price that in yesterday. Now, did the market price that in already with that big drop? Possibly. Possibly. This market's nuts. I don't put anything past it. Okay? That is basically all I want to talk about. Now, I talked about actually AT&T got an upgrade and Qualcomm got a downgrade today. So that's really what's going on with that. We can move over to the daily charts now. Give me one sec here while I pull that up. Apologize. All right, let's look at this daily charts. All right, we came right to a key level. Okay, right to a key level. So we'll just zoom in here. All right, market opened here. Okay, gap down. Okay, you only went up a tiny bit. All right, and what did we come down to? we came down to last week's lows in this little two-day area right here. So you got resistance here, support, and we came right down to the 482.88 level right here, right down to that exact level. Okay, you broke the 90 MA daily, whatever, and right to that key level. Now, where are we at now? 484.70. 484.70. Right here. The lower third of yesterday. The lower third. Okay, now, if we break this level, we're probably going to go down to 477. Okay, right here. Big level. It was resistance, support, and then finally broke out. And that was the move up. I do believe we come down to here if this breaks. This needs to break. Okay. Getting a little bit of a bounce today. But if that selling ignites and you blow it out, or, basically we're coming back here. Okay, so that's really what's going on there. Let's look at these Qs. All right, now Qs different, right? Weaker. Here's last week's highs and last week's lows. We broke that. Broke those. Right? SPY held them. Qs broke them. Okay. So look, you came down to here. Right? It's not really significant, but you did come down to here. Okay. So out of this range, you broke out of it. Where you headed, possibly, there's a gap here. You possibly might fill this gap and possibly head down to 412, 413. 20-day simple moving average is hanging out right here. This is also last month's highs. This is a big level. Okay. If there's weakness, you can get here. But let's see what it's doing now. 419.30. 419.30. Okay. Now, interesting. The Qs are at the midpoint of yesterday. They're a little more bullish this morning than the SPY. Okay. Now, an area you'd probably, some shorts would want to re-engage would be, this is a previously weak high here. Then it was last week's lows. So this area around 421, 421, possibly could see if you come up into here, shorts engage. Okay. Just keep that on your radar. All right, let's go on to this crazy bond market because the yield dipped yesterday. I mean, really dipped. I talked about this range right here. Right? Now the yields have gone down big time. Went all the way down to 3.9 yesterday. But the market went down. Okay? Now there's two things with the bond market, right? Usually if you're getting scared, again, the yields go up. But then also, if people think something bad's going to happen, they buy bonds, which also cause yields to go down. So sometimes, you can get both things here. So yields going down, usually is going to be better for equity. So we'll have to see. Okay. Dollar also was in a range. Let's see if that popped out of that range. No, it has not. Still in this range. So the yields dropped out of that range. The dollar has not. VIX, not even going to pay attention to it because it is still not showing much fear. We're at 14. We probably peaked. Let's see. Let's just look at it. Why is that not happening? Right here. Yeah, so where did we go yesterday? We went up to about 14.6, but I mean, we're off the bottoms here. So a little more fear, but not a lot. Okay? Not a lot. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to market profile. let's go to this beautiful structure. Let's see here. Maybe even make it a little smaller. Okay. So with the start of a new month, you have a new monthly VWAP. Okay. And you can see the previous one. Let's just get this here. Previous monthly VWAP was right here. It was green the whole time. So that just meant that buyers are in control the whole month of January. Okay. Now, for the week to date VWAP started here, right? Oh, let's see where it started. Right here. Right? Or, I'm getting my days up messed up here. I can't tell where it started. I think it started right here. So now it's red, right? Sellers are in control this week. I'll take a look at those. Now look at this crazy profile. Has a bullish imbalance. Okay. Doesn't have any excess to the top. Okay. We are below the most traded price of the month and the week. That was the big level I was kept telling everybody about. Okay. 49.16. 49.16. Okay. Was the big level. Alright, I said big moves happen from this level. And it happened, right? Boom. It happened. Alright, so price is here. 488.887. Now why is that? Look at this big large node here. Market's hanging out right here. Okay. So we are in a bearish mode here. Alright, below this big level, I was a line in the sand, you gotta be bearish. Okay. Now, what happened yesterday, FOMC, whatever, opened up here. There's a lot of crazy movement. We have single prints right here. Now we have a spike right here. And we closed towards the lows. Okay. So you want to see what the market's, even though we're bouncing, right? Here's the spike. Here's this area of the spike, right? And the first thing you want to do is look at that and go, okay, are we within the spike? Yes. Okay. So this market right now is accepting the lower prices. Doesn't matter that we came up. Market is telling us it's accepting right now the lower prices. If it was here, that's super bearish. If it was up here, it would say, whoa, okay, the sellers have lost some steam, right? But right now the market's telling us, hey, we're okay with these lower prices right now. Now we do have monthly VWAP that just started, right? It's right here, it's green. It's very early in the month, so you don't put this too much weight on this yet. Okay, you wait a couple weeks for the monthly VWAP to really be enacted. Okay, so how do we look at this? I just told you about the spike. All right, so let's look at yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Now, right off the bat, a price that you're going to look at is the midpoint of yesterday. It's 48.98 right here. Anytime you got a big move, you look at the midpoint of the session. That's 50% retracement of yesterday. So right now we're holding that. Okay, right now we're holding that. What also happens that to be the midpoint is also, if you look to the left, it's also the break of the balance of all of those candles. So it's a very important level. I would expect bears to show up there. Okay, but this is a very little line in the sand. Okay, all right. Now, what else do we have here? We have a weak low. We have a weak low here. Yesterday's RTH low and the overnight low. Here's yesterday's highs. Here's the overnight highs. Okay. So, and we also, let's look at the overnight session. Very balanced. We're in the middle of the session. The most traded price of the overnight is right here. That's where we are. Okay. So, right now, this is a bearish structure. Okay. Which doesn't mean you can't go up. Just means that's what it's showing us. Okay. So, the plans. All right. The plans. is this. Let's get into it. All right. Bullish play. All right. Now, there's single prints here. There's single prints here, right here. That's from the past. That's emotional buying. Okay. And you got a demand zone down here. You could see some further selling here today. All right. And I would not be a fan of the bullish play. But we'd have to see. We'd have to see. Now, there's a couple things here. I am a fan of, there could be a little trap here. Now, anytime you go into single prints here, like this, and you find support in them, if you go in them and you can't clean them, that's bullish. Okay, so let's talk about that first. I'm not I got it, again, the market is not weak right now, but this weak low could be a little bear trap. Because if we come down here and we break that, start going into single prints, and you have the 20-day simple moving average below us as well. Okay, if you get support in here and you start cracking back into the range, you definitely can go up to this big volume node and start. If you break these single prints and you start working your way back to the most traded price of yesterday. I'm not saying that's a favorite setup, but that's very possible. Okay. Now, bear. Okay. We talked about this 48.98. What happens to also be the bottom of the balance area that was broken. Okay, so you're going to want to see if sellers engage there. I would say it's up to this level here. Also is the most traded price of yesterday. So the market could do this, come down, work its way up. Right to here in this area, if you start to get resistance, lower highs, we're going to make our way back down here. Maybe take out this weak low, start chomping out those single prints, and work our way down to this demand zone down here. Get some further selling. That's what I'm really looking at today. I would say that we're probably more what I'd be looking at, but you never know. Okay, there's just a lot of the earnings tomorrow. Got a lot of things going on. I'm not saying I'm not in love with any of these plays per se. All right. Now, let's look at the NASDAQ together. Okay. Let's look at this together today. Because remember, it's weaker. Let's look at the structure. Weird profile, right? Distribution, pocket, another distribution, right? Very weird looking profile. All right. And we're below the most traded price of the week. Price is here. Okay, most traded price of the month's way down here. Okay, so yesterday we have a gap, held that gap, right? So we have yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows, overnight highs. Okay, we're right at the midpoint of yesterday's range in the NASDAQ. Remember I said the NASDAQ's a little stronger. Right at the midpoint. So the point that I was talking about yesterday, okay, not yesterday, just before the ES, we're not even close to yesterday's midpoint, the 50% of yesterday's move. The NASDAQ is there already. Okay, NASDAQ is there already. And it's also at the most traded price of yesterday. So this becomes a weak high. Weak highs are just confluence. Okay, so you have the most traded price. So think about this. Everybody was short right here. Okay, because the market went down. Majority of shorts are here. Okay. Now, you can see the overnights only have this much short activity to this much long activity. Almost 90% long. Okay. Got demand here. if this could be a possible little breakthrough here. Okay, so it's for me, and you got the most traded price of the overnights here. So there's a lot of trading going on there. Okay, and it's the 50% point of the move of yesterday. Okay, so what you could see here is a quick thrust up. All right, and if you get weakness and come back through it, then you're probably going to roll and test yesterday's lows. Okay, so let's look at this together and look at how we're going to play this, how I want to play it. All right, obviously there's a bull setup here. Okay, now it did clean singles from the past that the ES hasn't cleaned yet, and you got yesterday's lows and you got the overnight lows here. All right, so you could see in a bullish scenario, like I said, take out this out, push up, come back down. You got monthly VWAP here and you got a demand zone. Okay, if you come down here, even dip into this demand and you start making higher lows, you can really make a case to make your move back up, and maybe you fill that gap, go back to the most traded price of the week. Okay, that's one of them. All right, if you look at the bearish play, okay, I said this area right here is a weak high. If it gets broken, it doesn't mean it's bullish. Okay, so if you're a bear and you see a quick thrust up and you come back through lower high, you can make your way down. Now this demand's here, so it could cause a little bit of support, but if you do this, you're probably going to test yesterday's lows. And it's also a demand, so I don't know how far you go, but you could definitely go down here. And there's a gap down here, pretty big one, that has not been filled. Right down here. Starts right here and goes all the way down to the most traded price of the month. I don't know if that's in the cards. Okay, that's what I'll be looking for today. And am I in love with either of these setups? Not really. After a big move like yesterday, FOMC, it's crazy. Some stocks are up. It's really weird. Like, it's not like everything's down right now. So it's kind of a wait and see, and it might be a no trade day. Who knows? All right, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, hope that makes sense to everyone. If it did, and if it doesn't, leave me a comment. You can subscribe, set an alert. All right, you could give me some love, give me a thumbs up. All right, you can also follow me on X at Gonzo719. Okay, and I wish everybody luck today. Okay, today's a nice day. We don't have a lot of data. Remember, 10 a.m. ISM, so be careful. But then today should be nice for a day trade. All right, but then right after the close, Amazon, Meta, Apple earnings could cause chaos. Could go down, could go up, could be mixed. Who knows? Then tomorrow's non-farm payrolls at 8:30 a.m. And then after that, oh my God, you get a break. Because this has been crazy data and earnings this week. So anyway, everyone have a good luck, stay green, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.